Good. I have.
I don't know if you can hear me, Amy.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with what I did this recording. I don't know what the.
Right here. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Amy? Amy, can you hear us? Okay, great. One little thing that may be disconcerting is for the kids to see you, they have to turn their back to you. So they're not ignoring you or being rude, they're just trying to see you. I should be ready momentarily.
Okay.
If we can get seated, we can get started. Let's get started. Amy, can you say something so we can balance?
Sure. Hi, it's nice to be with you.
Yeah, so if you go to Hi, Amy, could you try speaking
Can you say
Sure.
something?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, great. All right. Welcome to this afternoon's master class, which has been generously sponsored by both Margaret Berry and Jeffrey Abrams. I would like to welcome our special guest, Amy Lee, who was a former student here, of which I have very fond memories of working with on the Shostakovich Piano Quintet. A stellar performance, actually. She went from our program into Curtis, studying with one of our favorite people, Ida Kabakian, then went to Juilliard, and is now the Associate Concertmaster of the Cleveland Orchestra. Our first student is Noelle Streuber-Eden, who will be playing the beginning of Saint-Saëns B minor concerto, the first half of it. Okay. Thank you.
That sounded great. Noelle, right? Noelle, it's really nice to hear you. You play with such ease. I feel like your setup is so good that you're relaxed and everything kind of comes easily for you and really know this piece really well. Playing really well in tune, beautiful sound. All the notes are there. It's really great. Um, I wonder about how to bring out character in the section that we just heard, that you just played. If you look at your music, you see how in the very opening it gives you a passionato, right? Passionate. And he gives you these accents. And he gives you this really big marking of forte, right? So what does that mean? What can we do on the violin to really communicate that passion through these accents while still not losing the phrase? I felt like you had a really beautiful phrase going, but to me it was a little bit too nice. It needs a little bit more bite, okay? And I want to encourage you to see if you can use different vibrato on the accents so that the emphasis is really in the beginning of the notes, okay? And that you're also helping with the bow while maintaining that phrasing. And if we do that with this appassionato, even just couple lines down, 3 lines down, when we start having these long slurs, then you can have a better flow and a bigger phrase. Okay, so can I just have you alone play the first 3, 4 measures? Yeah, that's nice. So the bow, the bow is it's heavier at the frog, right? Obviously. So when you want to give any kind of bite, if you're at the frog, it's almost automatically going to do that, right? But what about around here? It's much lighter. Therefore, it needs more help. You do the same down and up. You're up all the way to the F. And then try that one more time and help with the vibrato so that it's. If you can see my hand, but you see how vibrato is. Could you do that maybe once slowly? Good. Let's help the vibrato so that that there's a real beginning to these notes. Good. And now let's move sharp. That's great. All right. With this, and of course, then is going to be play the whole phrase again with kind of intensity. Good. That one, especially that one, going to be, you're going to have to give extra effort, okay? All right, let's just skip ahead and see if you can play, it's a good, interesting section. Actually, okay, why don't we just go ahead and play here. right there. So how this is very different. I want you to see if you can flow and keep things as smooth as. And then it really changes, but you already want to start with, and then these accents, you go for it friendly, right? So could you do that, do the second one and play all these chords, changing the stroke? Yeah, good, no, good, good, good. Could we see how much you can those up bows? Yeah, so start the bow before you start. So it's not just coming from, but that there's a little stop. And don't forget all of those accents. Good, good, good. So could we start beginning one more time and play through all the way until A, really that contrast and phrase and character. Great. I thought that was a lot better. And I think to this articulation, if you can have the freedom to use a little more rubato so that, ta da 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 dum. So those are not four equal notes, right? Without losing the beginnings of the articulation. I think then we would really have it. I want to pick another spot to explore a different kind of vibrato and bow speed. Could we skip ahead to Dolce Espressivo, the next page for you? So here, I want to see how great to connect all these notes. Okay? It shouldn't be too slow. So I think your tempo, I do think that the vibrato is never. Can I hear you do that one more time? Great. Okay, so the difference in this between dolce and when you have espressivo, I think can be your bow speed. I think espressivo you can afford to bring a little bit more, but place like this, I would love for you to feel like you can just float. Okay, so even all this that you're not adding to save your bow or pressing it to create more sound. So when you, okay, so just very basic, but you're trying to pace with your sound. And what are some of the things that you can do in order to get more sound on the violin?
You can move closer to the bridge and have more weight and also move your bow faster.
Right. So you have all of those tools, but use them differently. So for a section with this dolce quality, I would advise you to see if you can stay not too close to the bridge. You want the frets to go up and not too much pressure. But yes, you can use a little more bow speed and let it help. Okay, play this one more time and see if without changing your dynamic too much, you can have a lot of nuances just going up and down and controlled by bow speed and vibrato rather than the prayer. And then do you see one line down, you have dolcissimo? So, okay, I know you're trying to save for the second time, but you're going up on the A string anyways, so that'll already give you some color change. I need already this dolcissimo quality there. So closer to the fingerboard. We see if we can really over when you think you're doing too much, it's gonna be just right. Hi. Noelle. Okay, this computer thing is really hard. So, yes, you great. I really liked how you use your bow speed to praise. But when you want to bring it down and be more intimate, that's when you can do the opposite, not too much bow, right? So, a good example is your one already go too much bow there, right? So you're really planning ahead. So it was really great, the first phrase, I thought. So let's try that one more time and see if you can follow the contour of the phrase and the amount of bow you're gonna use. The vibrato is great. Okay, there's one note. Do you think you can just, for me, try vibrating this D natural? Just try that. That was beautiful, I thought. How can you guys hear me? I just saw in the chat that I'm breaking.
Hi, yes, I
I'm
don't
breaking
know,
a lot.
I was gonna mention it, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if are you on a Wi-Fi connection?
I am, yes.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe if we can try restarting Zoom, or if there's a way you can maneuver so you get a stronger Wi-Fi signal. Are we cutting in and out for you, or can you hear us without any audio
I
distortion?
hear you fine.
Okay.
I mean, my signal is full.
Can you try logging out and then logging back in using the same link? It may just be a Zoom issue. We're catching about
Okay,
90% of what you're saying, but then some things get cut out in key moments.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I'll try that.
Okay. Brief intermission, couple minutes. Sorry, folks.
Okay,
And we're back.
hopefully. Okay. So Noelle, you probably couldn't hear me, but so here, can you hear me now?
Yes.
So dolcissimo, right? So really flow near the fingerboard, and then here less bow, but then get sword there, right? So just play there by yourself. I just want to see how we can control. Good, good, good. I really heard that going into the B sharp. That was beautiful. You might want to consider cross, very simple and dolcissimo, and then going up here the second time. That'll give you even more contrast, right? Could you try that? Yeah, just don't press the first time. So you're crossing over the D string, but your bow is as light as feather. Okay, and then just shift after. 1, 3, 1, 3. Try that. Yeah, it's just an idea that you can play around with. I love having many different fingering options just because, you have options and you may feel differently this time through, and then, when you perform this concerto again in a few years, maybe you will feel differently and you want to use something else. So it's always good to have options. Okay. And then I know we have a few minutes left. I just wanted to talk about these fast notes in the passage coming up. I think that it's really easy for this to really just go forward. But I think that you have to really resist that that urge to rush, and keep it steady, but still exciting, right? So that means I think really phrasing this. So I think it always works if you look at the music and shape it the way the notes are written. Really, the contour of the line, it really, you can just follow that to shape it. So do a lot of ups and downs even within one dynamic, and lots of left hand articulation so you're really clear, right? But not rushing. Could we start from letter C one more time? And again, let's go back to this great marcato quality we now achieved. And this time, I want to challenge you to also use rubato. So in the beginning, we worked on having the beginnings of the notes be heard, right, with those accents, and fast vibrato for appassionato. But now we wanted to talk about also doing more rubato, right? So it's not just straight. So you can even do it here. Okay, so it still has that appassionato quality. Could we start at letter C? Good. That was a lot more steady, and I really thought that you still try to go for the shape more. I think what can help you is to not play these eighth notes at the end of the run too short, because you're phrasing up all the way, right? And there's a short rest, which is breathless. But if it's too there's a big gap. And things just get compressed, right? So keep those notes longer. Yum. And then the next one more. Yum, right? And then when you get to these eighth notes, vibrate these notes. These notes. And then piano, right? I say definitely a little less bow, but pinch them. Pinch those accents. Or think a little accent. For clarity. Good. Let's have one more go at it and see if you can vibrate until you feel like you can't anymore. Okay, so here, especially these long notes. Just vibrate all the way until you think, oh, did I play that note too long? Okay. Great, that was great. Okay, so I think for your music, I think it will be page 3. Those last 2 runs, the way you did your eighth notes, those were perfect. So it's still a fast bow. It's not really sustained, but fast bow, but with enough length, like that, right? But you see the very first run, just before da 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 da, one that starts on D sharp, that one I don't think should be long. That one I think has a dot on it, right? So yes, don't just stop the bow, use bow, but don't try to play that one long, okay? But that's great. I really heard a lot of difference. That sounds great, Noelle. Connection any better?
The connection's much better.
Okay, okay.
Working well. Our next student is Chloe Hyun, who will play the continuation of the first movement of that song.
Great. Chloe. It's really hard to just pick it up and start from the middle of the movement. But I thought you did really well. So you had a lot of fast notes for this end of the movement after all that build up. And of course, always the challenge is to keep it exciting but steady, right? Um, so I mean, things, it might feel better already if you do it again, because I know it's hard to start from the middle of the movement. But what I actually noticed is that, yes, there was definitely a tendency to rush, but another thing that I really noticed was that you don't always sustain your bow. So I hear the beginnings of the each bow a lot, and then the sound kind of disappears. And then I hear the next bow, and then the sound kind of disappears before the next bow comes again. And that can be a real problem, especially when you're trying to play with somebody else, when you have a lot of these fast notes, right? So I want to see if we can do this again, and you can try to. You see how for violinistic reasons we have to change bow here and there, but these slurs are generally pretty long, right? So if you think really long phrase, that your goal is to go all the way to the top note at letter G, for example, right? Letter G. So most editions, it'll be about page 5. So it's just at the end of the big 60 note passage, okay? So don't play any faster than you can say the notes. Is the other thing I think that you can think of. If you can look at your music and go diga 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 diga, that's good. Okay. And this sustaining quality, doing legato, sustaining all the way through the tip and through the bow changes. I noticed that for singing section, and that's the other thing I want to cover. But could we first see if we can this fast passage and keep it steady as possible? How about letter F? Yeah, so that was better, that it was a little bit slower. But I want to encourage you to see if you can. Okay, so this is you see those series of sforzando already starting, right? So can you play that slightly under tempo and see if you can always think a small crescendo into the sforzando and then release? See, right there, I thought that I lost your sound before the up bow. So let's start right there one more time and play with lots of intention. Give it to us too much. We really want to know what you mean. Yeah, you can try separating the bow two before letter G. Just change bow every beat, so you have sforzando and up bows. Can you try that? And then the measure before also you can change your bow and then one bow all the way.
Okay.
And then that last note can be up bow. Could you try that? No, so there you can change your bow. Can you try? Just to see how it works, because I think that you sometimes just get a little stuck not having enough bow. So maybe we can start 3 before letter G and see if you can try do the 3 and then 1 on the changing on the sforzando and continuing to change every time you have a sforzando. Yeah, can you pencil that in as an option? I think that could help you. So can we do the same thing one more time? And I think this tempo is actually fine. And I want you to do a little bit more mini crescendo into this sforzando and each one a little bit more too. So you're taking steps, each measure. Yeah, so you know how with Noelle we just talked about a few of the things that you can do to get more sound. So now we want more sound going into sforzando. And I think here we need to use all of those tools that you have. So make sure you're not using too much bow at the beginning of the down bow, all your down bow, so you run out of bow, right? So we still need enough bow where the bow is lighter, right? Right? All of those last 4 notes, very important. So more pressure, close to the bridge, enough bow. We need all of those. Could we try that one more time? So save your bow at the beginning of the run. I think if you practice it this way, it'll help you. You have something more musical to think of rather than feeling just overwhelmed with all these notes that we have on the page. Okay. Okay. So sustaining the bow. Let's see. Could we actually? Let's just right away keep going. These fortissimo chords. Bum bum bum. Can you play those? So even here, I feel like you release your half note every time a little too much. Yes, there will be some kind of release in your sound, but not in the musical intensity. Okay, so I think simply if you make sure that your bow is not doing that, and also your vibrato stopping. So keep it up. Whatever bowing you're doing is okay. Can I hear that one more time? And it's more important the next statement when you have dun dun dum da da dum. Okay? Good. I think that's a really good example, actually. We can just work a little bit with these notes. So, right where you have espressivo, right? So it's not. Do you hear the difference? I don't know what the sound quality is there, but I think that you need to sing through those half notes here. So again, just watch out and make sure that your bow is not going this way, and don't use all the speed in the beginning, because then of course it's gonna go. And then you still have the hairpin, so you gotta still go to the middle of that hairpin. Can you play it right there? We don't need the pianist. Let's just hear you. I think you reversed the bowing, right? So start up bow one more time. Again, see if you can keep your vibrato going all the way till the end. And also the tension with your bow. Can we just play this maybe? See if you can connect all those three notes. Yeah, without letting go at the end of each note. You want to grow all the way. Try that. Ah, Chloe, that was already so much better. Can you do it one more time and go that direction a little further? Save your bow at the beginning and all the way to the middle of the third note. Right. And then, of course, when we continue, you won't finish because you still have those two notes left, right? But that kind of connection, I think, is what's really needed everywhere. So now, could we go back and let's go back to where you started. And here, all of these notes, can we do the same thing of not speeding up the bow at the beginning of the note and then slowing down each note, but really creating a longer line by controlling your bow speed and vibrato all the way through? No. This is letter D now. Okay, good, Chloe, good. Some things were already better, but I think we need to talk about few spots and see if we can improve it further. So, when you start this tranquilo, I think that's when you really want your bow to be so still. So there, see if you can really maintain your bow speed even and your bow changes also not too abrupt. It's so easy for us to go, right? This sort of get into the swing of it. But see if you can sort of defy the gravity in this case. We love playing with gravity. But here, I think you need to try to just float, okay? As if you're just on your back, floating in the beautiful natural body of water. Okay, so can you just play right there? Right there. You can even do it a little slower if it helps you. good, Chloe. That's good. That's good. Can you see if you can use a little less bow also on these eighth notes? And then, of course, these measures are a little different. So go to the middle of the measure. So I think it's musical to, of course, think a little hairpins on each measure. So here too. And then very calm. You're not going. Finishing the phrase and then slightly slower bow and much less pressure. Good, Chloe. That I found that to be really beautiful. So you have this really calm, just floating moment, and then a little bit of lilt, ya-da-dee-da-dee-da-dum, alternating like that. That was really beautiful. And taking your time on that high note is good. And then the next part, and we can start two measures before the double bar already because I want to see if you can connect all these half notes together to bloom into that F sharp. Sort of like the way we connected those three half notes in the other page earlier that you did so beautifully at the end. Let's see if we can achieve that kind of connection with your sound here too. And then once you get here, again. So it's now. Do you hear the difference through the screen? Okay, and I'm simply achieving that by making sure that I'm distributing my bow according to the phrasing that I want. Okay, and of course the vibrato never stops for a passage like this. So could we start from here? Two measures before the double bar. Good, Chloe, good. So that was really, sir. I think that maybe this is just a bowing. These are separate. What is it? Half notes after. And it's so easy for it to sound. But I don't think that these are two equal notes, right? I mean, it would almost be better if we could just go. Right? So you can change your bow, but let's really be mindful of that. You know, listeners, they don't necessarily know what kind of difficulties we have as violinists. Oh, we have to change the bow, deal with all this uneven weight of it, but you know, that shouldn't get in the way of the music making here. So that oboe should not have any kind of emphasis on it, and it should be less than the G sharp, right? And then don't let these notes stick out either. I actually like slurring. I slur them. You could try that too. So let's just start from the F sharp. You got there beautifully. very good, Chloe. That was really beautiful. And of course, this one we want to do the opposite. Hug it. It's literally hug it. You're on your bow there too, right? Yeah. So make sure that your wrist is high enough, coming towards the frog, because the bow is getting heavier, but you want to make a diminuendo. So you want to make sure that the bow is not going to be too heavy into the string, right? So can you just play maybe from here, which is the opposite direction, right? Go into that A natural that time. I think it was up bow for you. Yes, that was great. Yes, I think if you apply everything slow and lyrical passages, but of course, even the fast passages we first worked on, really controlling how you use your bow speed and distribution, and really dealing with the uneven weight of the bow, right? I mean, you are a great violinist, and basically what we are doing is problem solving, right? We want to figure out what we have to do technically in order to serve the music, right? What needs to come through? What kind of phrasing? What do we want to hear? And that's what we do in the practice room to figure that out. I think if you did this will be much more enjoyable for you and for the listeners too. Well, great job. Congratulations.
And just one more round of applause for our guests.
Thank you, guys.